I don't like you. I hate that you're married to my son. That's your problem. Your son loves me. This isn't over. This was a mistake. You were wrong. I did what I thought was right. Right? You ruined everything. I had no choice.
Have you ever heard the saying that when you marry a man, you don't just marry the man, you marry his whole family? But they never tell you what happens when his mother is a shark who smells blood in the water every time you breathe. It was our 3rd wedding anniversary. I had spent 6 long hours cooking Liam's favorite meal, slow roasted lamb and the chocolate souffle that took me 3 tries to master. I was wearing the red dress he loved, waiting for a romantic night with my husband. Then the doorbell rang. It wasn't Liam, it was my mother-in-law, Beatrice, looking like she just stepped off a private jet from a villain convention. And she wasn't alone. Standing behind her was Sarah, her personal assistant. Sarah was 24, blonde and wearing a dress that looked suspiciously like a wedding gown's younger sister. "Oh, Maya," Beatrice said, walking past me without an invitation. "Liam mentioned you were cooking, but Sarah here noticed your kitchen vent was dusty last time she visited. She brought over a professional catering team and organic salmon. We wouldn't want Liam getting food poisoning on such a special night, would we?" I looked at my roasted lamb. It was cold. I looked at Liam, who had just walked in behind them, looking exhausted and, worst of all, grateful. Grateful that another person, a strange woman, had brought in a catering team instead of having my meal. "Thanks, Mom," Liam sighed, kissing Beatrice on the cheek. "Sarah, you're a lifesaver. I had such a long day," he went ahead to say again. In the moment, as Sarah handed him a glass of wine with a lingering touch on his hand, I realized this wasn't a surprise visit. This was a rehearsal. Beatrice wasn't just my mother-in-law anymore. She was a casting director, and she was auditioning my replacement in my own dining room. Beatrice didn't start with fire. She started with whispers. She was the CEO of a luxury real estate firm, and Liam was her vice president. She controlled his paycheck, his schedule, and if I didn't act fast, his heart. I was a freelance graphic designer. In Beatrice's eyes, that meant I was unemployed and lazy. She began sending Sarah over to our house at odd hours. "Sarah is here to just drop off the quarterly reports, Maya," Liam would say when I found her in our kitchen at 7 a.m. making him a specific type of protein shake I didn't even know he liked. "I noticed Liam looked a bit bloated lately, Maya," Sarah would chirp with a fake surgery smile. "Beatrice asked me to put him on a new meal plan. I hope you don't mind." It started small. My favorite coffee mug went missing. My laundry was accidentally washed with bleach, ruining my best work blazer. When I complained to Liam, he looked at me like I was losing my mind. "Maya, Sarah is a professional. Why would she care about your clothes? You're being paranoid." This is the ultimate gaslighting move. When your husband thinks your enemy is an angel, you are already halfway to a divorce court. But the real blow came when Beatrice invited us to a charity gala and forgot to tell me the dress code was a black tie. I showed up in the cocktail dress. Sarah showed up in a $10,000 custom gown that perfectly matched Liam's tuxedo. I stood in the corner of the ballroom, watching them pose for photos. Liam, his mother, and the assistant, looking like the perfect family. I was the plus one who didn't fit the frame. I knew I had to fight back, but I needed a baddie strategy. I started by pretending to be defeated. I stayed quiet. I let Sarah take over the grocery shopping. I let Beatrice criticize my hair. I wanted them to get real comfortable at all the things they were doing to me. One afternoon, I came home early and heard muffled voices in Liam's home office. I crept to the door. It was Beatrice and Sarah. "The divorce papers are ready," Beatrice was saying. "Once Liam sees the photos of Maya with her ex-boyfriend, he will sign them without a word. Then we can announce our engagement by Christmas." My heart stopped. Photos? I hadn't seen my ex in 5 years. I realized they were planning to frame me for cheating. They had hired a lookalike or were going to use AI-generated images. They were going to destroy my reputation to clear the path for Sarah. I didn't burst in. Instead, I went to Sarah's desk in the hallway. I knew she was hiding something. No one is that perfect. I found her personal assistant bag and went through her phone while they were busy plotting. I didn't find photos of me. I found photos of Beatrice. It turned out Sarah wasn't just an assistant. She was Beatrice's secret daughter from an affair 30 years ago that would ruin Beatrice's elite society image. Beatrice wasn't trying to give Liam a better wife. She was trying to keep her secret daughter in the family and under her control, using Liam as the bait. The night of Beatrice's 60th birthday bash was the stage for my final act. Beatrice had the cheating photos ready to show Liam in private right after the cake. She thought she was holding all the cards. I walked into the party wearing the dress that screamed, "I am the boss." I waited until all the room was full and the city's most powerful people were around. Liam was standing on stage, ready to give a toast to his mother. Before Liam speaks, I said, walking up to the microphone with a flash drive in my hand, "I want to show a tribute to the woman who brought us all together, a woman who values family above all else." Beatrice smirked at me, thinking I was groveling. The lights dimmed. The screen didn't show photos of my fake affair. It showed the birth certificate I had found in Sarah's safe deposit box. It showed the DNA test I had paid for using hair from Sarah's brush and Beatrice's wine glass. And finally, it played the recording of Beatrice and Sarah planning to frame me. The silence in the room was deafening. Liam's face went from confusion to pure horror. He looked at Sarah, then at his mother. "You are sisters?" Liam whispered, his voice cracking. "You are going to make me marry my own sister just to hide your scandal?" Beatrice tried to speak, but the socialites were already whispering. Her reputation was melting like the ice sculptures on the buffet table. Sarah burst into tears and ran out, but I stood my ground. The fallout was glorious. Liam moved out of his mother's company that same night. He realized that the lifesaver assistant and the loving mother were just two people using him as a pawn. He begged for my forgiveness. I told him he could have it, but only after he signed over his share of the family estate to me as emotional damages. Beatrice lost her firm. The scandal was too much for her high society clients. Sarah disappeared back into the shadows, likely looking for another family to infiltrate. As for me, I didn't just save my marriage, I ended it. I realized I didn't want a husband who was weak enough to be tricked by a pretty sheikh and a dusty vent. I used the settlement money to start my own design firm. Now, when I go to galas, I'm not the plus one, I'm the guest of honor. And if I ever have a daughter-in-law, I will make sure she knows one thing. Never underestimate a woman who knows how to use a flash drive. Hold up, if you're enjoying this story, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share. There will be so much more coming your way.